700 duelists stepped up to play in the LA Regional, one of the biggest regionals that we've had to date. Don't beg 30% of you guys have not smashed the crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get to 105,000. So your breakdown out of the LA Regional for California this past weekend actually is some pretty standardizing stuff, honestly. Prankid's actually taking home the highest represented deck in the room, and really to no surprise, really nobody, seeing that Prankid's kind of still maintains the dominance. The thing was, this was week one of Branded kind of stepping on into the metagame here, and considering, 700, 800 players, I think it was a little bit short, under 700. I could be wrong about that. Stepping up and competing here and still seeing that consistency factor is there. Yeah. Now, we had two Branded Despia lists make it into the top cut, which I'm also not very shocked about that. The fact that this deck still got the chance to kind of keep up is very, very good, ladies and gentlemen. Now, abnormalities, we're going to classify these as here. We had one Sky Striker deck in top cut, which was doing the whole typical adventure make Verti Anaconda shenanigans. Most of you should be very familiar with this deck because it does all the standardized things that it's done in the past. We also had a Sword Soul variant in top cut. Now this is going to be, the whole Incredible Ecclesias, the whole extension Mo-Yi combo that we're all kind of used to seeing. And the deck performed up to standard, making, what was it, 4th place out of this event, which absolutely amazing. And then we had what I'm going to label as adventure combo. You guys pretty much know you use the adventure engine in combination with all the good stuff to make this synchro based strategy. It is by far the best polarizing deck in the format. Good times. Let's go pass on over to these deck lists. Right, the second place list we're going to be looking at here was Chris Reyes' Sky Striker Adventure deck. And what I actually find really cool about this is instead of doing the full shenanigans where you're doing two ofs here, we went full package and extended out here. Now this build is 47 cards, which you can tell by looking at this was a lot more teched out for this, 10-round regional. At this point in time, you have the token collector built in here for when you need to see it. You have the Moonlit Chill in here, which gives you one more named hand trap. I do like the use and extension here through the hand traps because it definitely makes things a little bit better. And since you are playing the build the way that this is, you should see hand traps a little bit less often. So if you open multiples of these, it should round itself out a little bit better. I also see down here that we're playing the 1 talents, which, if you're going to see it, considering the rest of the logic that's presented in this deck with the 1-ups, I think this is fine. I also see here that we have the inclusion of summon limits in the main deck. I do like this a lot. Do not underestimate what summon limit power-ups can do for you. This card is actually very good. I think most Sky Striker builds as of late were citing these, so getting the chance to see these in the back burner here is a little bit more interesting. One Draco back of standard. Man, we even got one Chalice teched out in here. What an interesting pile of cards. Alright, next up here is Prankids. This was 3rd place Alex Lopez's list. Now, unlike a lot of the other Prankids variants that we've seen this format that are trying to get super crazy and be like, oh, so we're gonna play 2 of each of these, this is more reminiscent of, I would say, pure Prankids at this point in time. The other builds are trying Magician Souls. You're definitely rewinding it back to a time where, you don't want to, you're just taking out all the extra good stuff here and fitting this in. I see that our hand trap ratio is going to be probably the dominating force here. Between the 3 Bells, the 3 Ogres, the 3 Ashes, and the 3 Imperms, we're pretty good. We got the Board Breakers present in here. We have the 1 Instant Fusion. I haven't seen a lot of instant fusion. Maybe it's just me, or maybe I don't pay attention enough to this, but I tend to not really see a lot of these. Super Poly's built into the main deck. We are kind of in that format right now where Super Poly being able to resolve and rip apart a board is really good. I mean, it's just a discard. You 2 for 2 your opponent, and then you get to put a fusion on the field and laugh at your opponent. I am honestly going to say, do not be surprised when this resolves. This is going to be the good stuff. Outside of that, Gammas and Nibiru's in the side deck is fine. 2 talents in the side deck if we need to bring them in. I really don't see anything else particularly too crazy for this list here. Next up is Sword Soul. Now, right off of the bat here, I do find that our ratios are very standardized for this. Here you go. So yeah, you're doing very basic combo with this. We are not playing Synthana to the one person that's like, well, where's the water one, Robbie? I know you should be playing. No, we're not gonna get crazy out here and try to do that. These ratios is fine. You know, this deck is still one of the most standardized decks in the format, to be honest with you. You literally just open Despot combo and go burr. I also like the inclusion. We have the Ghost Ogres in here, but this build is not playing E-Telly. Though we did see E-Telly kind of finding a little bit of success at the very early stages of the format, because you just E-Telly out an Ogre and you're like, all right, cool, I'm good to go. So I don't know how I feel about not having that in this build, but nonetheless, it does pretty much seem straightforward. Yeah, no Heavenly Dragon Cycle, but we are playing Vassal. Next list we have here this is our 5th place Matthew Rivera's what I called Adventure Synchro combo. Now, basically, you are going to use the whole little package here and kind of do your Synchro plays. Now, the interesting thing that I see here about this list is we're not doing like, I don't see like Vishuddha or any of the little dragons that we've kind of seen for a little bit of time. And I don't know, that's definitely something to really consider at this point in time, is like, do you want to play the Tenyi package in here as like a sub option tree? Because it's not a bad thing to have the option to do so, but I don't know, all things, it's definitely something. I do like the inclusion of the Zombie World, Necroworld, Banshee shenanigans down here. That actually will give you more options to kind of disrupt the opponent. Alright. Next up here is our branded list. This was Joseph Rodriguez's 7th place list. And straight off the bat here, I will say that this is kind of interesting. I do like the fact that we have a 60-card variant, first of all, functioning in the format. That's a good thing. We have kits in here, the Light Hex Seal Fusion. You know, it's kind of cute to me seeing that this is what we're kind of driving through, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is the sauce, per se, here. Once again, you got the Necroworld Banshee shenanigans down here. This card beats Flunder, so this, if you're worried about your Flunderies matchup, don't. This deck should be able to handle it based on what you're doing. And yes, we do have crossout designators in this deck. I do know that a lot of people are going to be kind of sketch about this, but I've heard a lot of people looking at crossout designator, this format, and going, you know, it is gaining some love at this point in time. And when you can get traction on a power card to prevent and play the game, it's good. Now, this last list here, I don't have any confirmation for this. So a channel named, what was it, Eggman Gaming uploaded a breakdown for this regional, and then the video found itself deleted. So I'm just going to put a disclosure up here. I don't have any confirmation on this list whatsoever, so take that with a full grain of sand, alright? Because there are no YouTube videos on this, there's no nothing. This is supposedly the first place winning regional list out of the LA Regional. So do with this info what you will, but I just wanted to talk about some of these choices for this supposed list here. The Incredible Ecclesia in here for recurability. Also, you can nab this back off, so you can go Branded Fusion, mill this, recur this back. It is kind of a cute option tree depending on where you are mid-combo. Fairy Tale Snow being in this deck is also kind of cool. It's also going to depend on like how much milling and things you'll be able to do to kind of set up, but this can do some pretty cool, interesting shenanigans for this. You have the Friper package in here. You already know this is going to be most of your extension combo plays in here. Now, another interesting thing here was Phantasmes for draw power in the side deck to unbrick hands, which is actually kind of cool. And then I see that we have double Draco back here, one in the main and one in the side. I haven't really seen a lot of people testing out multiples of Draco backs, especially as a side deck option in here. But nonetheless, I am kind of curious to see if this will stick. Outside of that, like I said, take this list with a grain of salt. This could just be some randoms list that got chalked into that video for supposed first place, but like I said, I figured I'd include this in here as like the rumor mill section, because looking at this list, it's definitely very teched out. But if this is just somebody's test list that they mistakenly put in for first place, I'm including the same little thing here. So guys, what do you think about this breakdown for this event? Please leave a comment about what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.